Hello, Tim O'Kelly here, and just want to take on for a couple of minutes the topic that I'm really passionate about, and that is parenting. That is giving our kids the best odds that they can have from the very beginning. You know, I've been traveling around doing these classes for 25 years as far as personal development goes, and one of the fascinating topics is to explore why a person does what they do. Why do we do what we do? Why do we show up a certain way? Why are people different? What makes people different? You know, and it always goes back to at the beginning. It always goes back to what we learned at the beginning. And so what I want to take on in this topic is just a very simple one. And that is, at least for me, it was pretty mind-blowing when I started working with this because I thought it was the other way. And what was fascinating for me was I realized when I started raising my daughter, right? I raised my daughter as a single father she's 24 years old now, as a single father. And it just rocked my world when I learned that a child in long run, now immediately, yeah, you might get some immediate gratification out of this, but long term, they don't. A child does not do what you want them to do. They don't learn when you tell them what to do. Let me give you an example. You cannot tell a child to respect themselves. It doesn't work. Why? Well, if you look at communication, and this is interpersonal communication college 101 right here, that a very small percent of our communication is spoken, right? Go look at it. I've heard as low as 7% of our communication is actually spoken. Now, we talk, but what is getting communicated is not the words. So when you take that into consideration, you can tell a child to have a high level of respect. Well, you need to respect yourself. Or how about this one? You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you can do whatever you want to do, and we tell our children that. And then we expect them to take that and to go do it. And it doesn't work that way. It never has worked that way. And I promise you, if you look back, it didn't work for you either. So here's just a little support if you're raising children. Now, I want to say something real clear. If your children are awesome and you got a great relationship with them, we're doing everything that you want them to do, absolutely just watch this for fun. I say congratulations to what you're doing. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, congratulations, because it is not easy. And if you have found something that works, man, I'd like to hear it also, because that's what I've done for 25 years, to study because of my daughter, raising Mackenzie. I studied, I interviewed, I talked to, I read, right? So if you've got something that works, and I'd love to hear a comment from you as far as what you know works, okay? So if you want your child to respect themselves, to have a high level of self-respect, then I think what a lot of us want to do is to tell them to do that. And we might even explain what respect is, you know, or have high self-esteem. We might explain what esteem is, but then we expect them to do it and they have no idea how to do it. So what do they learn? Well, I'll never forget this lesson from Dr. Wayne Dyer, one of my mentors a long time ago when I first started raising Mackenzie. If you want your child to have a high level of self-respect, then given that communication, 7% is words, 7 to 10% to 15%, I've ranged in between there. I don't care what very small. Given that a very small percentage is communicating is talk and words, then he said this: if you want your child to have a high level of self-respect, then you, the parent, never, ever, 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 ever let yourself be disrespected in this world. I remember when I was told that was like a branding iron into my brain that, oh, I got it. Because the words weren't hitting me. The idea wasn't hitting me until I heard that scenario. That they don't do what we tell them to do, right? They do what we do. They learn from our beingness. They learn from our consciousness. They learn from our self-esteem. They learn from our self-respect. They learn, you know, and it can confuse a child if a parent doesn't explain really when I say, you've got to believe in yourself. You can do anything you want to do, but if the parent's not doing what they want to do, it can cause a controversy inside. They don't really understand that because I know that you're saying these words, but you don't live that. And that's where it can confuse a child, okay? So here's the main point to this is they learn by what we do. They learn by what we think. They learn by our perceptions. They learn by our... I heard this not long ago. I went to a course and I heard this man say, just very simple, your child knows your relationship with a coffee cup. Why? Because they see it daily. And they look at it and they know that that's important to you. Your child knows the importance you have on a cell phone because we're on it a lot right now, and they'll understand the relationship between you and that cell phone, right? So they're watching all the time. It's what they have to watch. They understand when something doesn't go right, how you respond. So we think that maybe it's not having an effect. Everything that we do has an effect. So the idea behind this is if you want your child to be whatever, then the lesson here would be, are you being that? Are you working on that? Are you practicing that? Are you walking your talk is really what it goes down to. And don't beat yourself up if you see, man, I'm not doing that at all. Congratulations. This would be the day to start. Start respecting yourself. Start having a higher self-esteem. Start doing some work on yourself. One of the greatest tools a parent can do is for a child to watch a parent grow. I remember hearing that a long time ago. The greatest gift you can ever give a child is to see parents growing, not staying the same, doing the same thing all the time, but a parent telling them to go do things. So you as a parent to grow, to read, to show a child that what perspective I had, I'm starting to change my perspective. I'm starting to see it different. You know, what I said was wrong. You know, after more information on this, what I've learned is it's wrong. You know, I want to wrap this up with a great example of that. If you've ever heard of the hierarchy of needs or Maslow's pyramid, right? A great structure from Abraham Maslow, right? Years ago. And what he said was that every person who comes into the world, we go through different levels, right? So now we come in and we do food, the physiological needs, food, shelter, all that stuff. And then once we have that, we go to safety. Once we have that, we go to relationships. Once we have that, we go to having things, reputation, toys, money, things like that. And then the top one was self-actualization, being the absolute best human being you can be. That was the hierarchy of needs for years. Abraham Maslow went back to it and absolutely critiqued his own work and made fun of his work that was out there for years. Do you know how bold that is? To show that what I thought and what I was so clear on, now I look at it, there's a different perspective. You give a child that gift, when they get in trouble, when things are going wrong, when things are challenging, that's the one thing that they know they can fall back on is the willingness to shift, the willingness to change courses. One of the greatest gifts you can give them, all right? So there's the message today is if you want your child to do it, then do it too. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate you listening.